Welcome aboard Bus 1. We're on our way to Washington, D.C., and we've got some time to kill. Let's do some trivia. Passengers, introduce yourselves.
What's up, everyone? It's America, Aidan.
Wow.
And I'm America Cooper.
And I'm American Mitch.
I guess I'm American Sam.
Uncle Sam.
Uncle
Sam.
America Steven.
Oh my gosh!
Uncle Sam.
Screw that. Yeah, it was wide open. I failed.
Steven the Patriot. Happy 250, baby. Happy 250.
Happy 250.
The United States is simultaneously a very young country in that we don't have 1,000-year-old castles or writings spanning back to before the birth of Christ, and simultaneously an old one in that the U.S. government has been intact for a lot longer than most countries still in existence. So, to celebrate, each of us will be going through the 250 years since the Declaration of Independence, with fun trivia. So let's go through the rules. There will be 5 rounds with 5 questions each for a grand total of 25 questions. You know, because of the thing. Each of us will host one of these rounds covering an era of American history. Each question will be worth 1 Patriot point, no matter the round.
Patriot point.
That's what we're calling them today, Patriot points.
Nice.
We're using
Not
the
US
buzzer
dollars.
today. So, like the Cowboys of the Wild West, the winner will be the fastest, most accurate shot. At the end, whoever has the most Patriot points will win the fabled Patriot Prize and the respect of the ghost of the 16th President Abraham Lincoln, who has graced the show in the past. Humble beginnings.
Fan of the show.
Fan of the show. The ghost of Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln. Does that make sense to you all?
I think so.
Yes, sir.
It should. None of you are new to this.
Yeah, that's true. At what point do we get one of the US 250 commemorative dollar coins? Is that how many Patriot points is that?
Okay. The exchange rate for that, I think it's 25 Patriot points.
There you go.
You gotta get them all.
Gotta get them
Which
all.
actually is
Gotta
not
get 'em
physically
all.
possible for this episode. So
Right.
Yeah,
You have
true.
to get your own.
yeah, and
You have
the
to, you have to get
300th
everything
I know
right.
these super well.
for the 300th episode, for 300th America 300.
If we're doing this in 50 years.
Yeah, when we're doing this in 50 years and
count
we're
us
doing
out,
the
yeah.
same theme. Yeah.
When podcasts have got extinct as a medium and all of us in our 70s come back for the America 300.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, I'm going to kick us off with round 1. Humble beginnings.
Of course, of course.
So appropriate.
Abraham Lincoln approves. Question 1. July 2nd, 1776. 12 of the 13 delegations voted in favor of the Declaration of Independence, and July 4th, 1776, the Declaration was officially approved by the Continental Congress. In signing it, they knew they were irreversibly committing high treason against the Crown, which was punishable by torture and execution. This makes John Hancock's disproportionately large and flashy signature in the front and center of the document all the more bold. Why did John Hancock sign his name like that? Oh, Cooper.
Open-ended?
Well, I was going to read off multiple choice, but Cooper buzzed in,
Oh,
so
okay.
let's hear what
I
Cooper has
got
to say.
it.
Okay.
He said he wanted to write it so big that the king could see it without his glasses on.
I love that answer, Cooper, but that's actually not correct. That's the fabled legend
Is that
they all
just an
say.
old wives' tale?
Yeah, that's an old
You just got
wives' tale.
fable
That's
legend.
not actually true.
I think I
Mitch.
actually know.
Mitch.
Okay, what do you think?
Didn't he sign it first, and so he was like the first person to sign
didn't
it? and it
realize
was, like,
how
center.
big
Everyone else was like,
Well, I think he was just the first to sign it, and then everyone else had to kind of fit their names in around them. So I think that's why.
I've
Okay,
fallen
Mitch,
for
I'll give
American
it to you. That is
propaganda.
that is correct.
You'll give it to him?
Yeah. So
Wait, Steven, can I amend Mitch's answer?
you may. I will. I'm just curious to see what you.
He had to sign big enough to show off how big his balls
I like that in spirit. I think
Yeah.
you get 1 spirit point.
Or
you get
Fallen
1
Yes!
for American
Point.
the spirit
propaganda.
of America.
We're gonna keep it
Yeah,
a
that come
separate
on, Cooper.
spirit point
I didn't
counter.
know that. I thought Cooper had the right
Yeah,
answer.
so
Cooper,
what actually
what's more
happened?
American than that? falling for propaganda. and misinformation.
Yeah.
What
Happy
Cooper
birthday,
said
America.
is like that was written like I think 30 years after the signing by like someone who was not there, and they were like, oh, he wanted to make sure that John Bull could read his signature without his spectacles.
It's a
referring
banger.
to King George III.
It's a
Ah,
banger.
nice.
It makes a good story.
But it was actually just because he did it first?
Yeah, so John Hancock was the first
was the
signature
president?
because he was the president of the Continental Congress. So he just put his signature front and center, as there weren't any like signature lines or anything. So he was just like, okay, well, I guess that makes sense.
Here we go.
And also, historians have found that he indeed just signed everything like that. If you go
Nice.
back to everything else he
Nice.
signed, he did a
Just
big
really
flamboyant signature for everything.
Based.
Nice.
But everyone
think
else
that-
signed based off of which, like collectively, which state they were representing, kind of loosely geographically. So John
That's
Hancock
really
kind
Do
of
you
cool.
mean
stands
colony?
out.
Do you mean colony?
Yeah, well,
Come on.
at that point, they
Too
became
soon,
the
Mitch.
states.
Right.
Let's not forget that.
Sorry, my bad.
Really?
Do you think he had coined the term John Hancock in it before that happened? He was like, let me give it my old John Hancock. They're like, here he goes
It's not
again.
gonna catch on.
That's not.
Everyone's like, what are you talking about?
Stop trying to
John
make fetch
Hancock
happen.
is not happening. It's not happening. Stop trying to make it happen.
Hey, Mitch, John Hancock definitely has aura.
He does have
I
a
mean,
red
with
aura.
that, he definitely has aura. So
Yeah.
some fun facts about the Declaration of Independence. John Adams thought that July 2nd would be the day that we would celebrate, not the 4th, as that was the day we officially agreed to become independent. He was so insistent that the 2nd should be the date that we celebrate that when people invited him to July 4th celebrations, he would often decline.
Show up 2 days earlier.
I already celebrated it on the 2nd. So.
Fun,
Why would I
fun
go
fact,
celebrate? I already
That's so
celebrated.
lame.
This year, my family is celebrating on the 2nd because that's when the fireworks are happening due to
true
weather. So
Americans.
Oh,
this one's
true
for you,
Americans.
John Adams.
And this episode might be coming out on the 2nd, or it might be coming out on the 4th. I don't know. It depends.
Who's to
It
say?
depends.
Who's to say?
Get in the comments.
If it comes
of
out
when
on
you're
the
here.
Yeah, when do you
Seconds.
think we should release this
Shout out-
episode?
shout out
Tell
to John
Sharon in the comments.
The real answer is how quickly I can edit this episode.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, comment quickly.
Yeah. Question 2.
All right. Nice.
Well, many July 4ths later, we fought and officially gained our independence from the British Crown and formulated our own government based on the inalienable rights the Founding Fathers fought for. But the governmental system that had gotten them through the war was beginning to show cracks during the peacetime. And by the 12th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, they were already switching from the Articles of Confederation to the Constitution we still abide by today. But not all the states were supporters of the switch. Rhode Island was the only state not to send a delegation to the Constitutional Convention in 1787, as the population of the state was vehemently opposed to going away from the Articles of Confederation. But they did send a list of amendments that they wanted to have added for them to consider joining, kind of as like a diva move.
Yeah.
Which of the following constitutional amendments was not proposed by Rhode Island?
Ooh.
A. That all freemen, irrespective of property ownership, be allowed to vote. B. That states should be allowed to use their own paper money. C. That Congress keep track of all A and nay votes in journal entries. D. No standing armies during times of peace. Or E. That the slave trade must be abolished.
Which one did they not?
Which one did Rhode Island say?
not
Which one
say?
did they not propose?
Not say.
Sam,
Okay.
what do you think?
Oh, I was sure until you said that last one. No, I'm going to stick with no standing armies during peacetime.
Okay, that is incorrect.
They did say
Okay.
that.
That was one of the
So they
amendments they
did say
proposed.
that.
Yeah. I
I
forget
feel
how
like
many
there's
amendments they
another
proposed. I
obvious
think like
one.
23 or something. I read the whole list. There were some
Wow.
wild ones.
Wow.
Aidan,
Okay, Rhode Island.
I don't think they wanted everyone to vote. Was it every man or everyone?
what I said
Oh,
was
that's
that
free
all
man.
free men,
Yeah.
irrespective of
Yeah.
property ownership,
Free men.
be allowed to vote.
Irrespective
okay.
of property
Because I was like,
ownership.
no way they want women to vote. It's still Rhode Island. I'll stick with that one, actually.
Okay, and that would be correct.
Oh, nice job.
Yeah, that's a
They
Patriot
did
boy,
want
baby.
women to vote, Aidan.
Well, I will say some states did allow some women to vote prior to the
Some
Constitution. Not all of them, but some of
Interesting.
them did. I think New Jersey might be on there. I
New
forget.
Jersey?
Let's go.
They don't have a state song, so.
Rhode Island had already earned its nickname Rogue Island during the Articles of Confederacy days. This is real. In which it was often the sole veto preventing laws from passing. Because in the Articles of Confederation, for a lot of things, you had to have unanimous approval. And Rogue Island would just say, like, no,
Rogue
I don't
Island.
feel like it. Despite their protests, the Constitution happened. And in 1790, after Congress passed a law prohibiting trade with Rhode Island, they were forced to accept the Constitution.
Dang.
Come on, Rogue Island.
We really
Rogue
had to, like,
Island's out
force
on
them.
its own.
There was like
We
a
had to force-
blockade around Rhode Island.
Yeah, Rhode Island had a really
Crazy.
interesting culture.
that's like 5 guys. Sam. That's not
Until the
hard.
Civil War, Rhode Island was like crazy.
How many can it even be?
Question 3. On July 4th of 1804, the Lewis and Clark expedition of the newly purchased Louisiana Territory was underway. Ordered by the third
Louisiana's
president,
really big.
Thomas Jefferson, they hoped to create maps, stake claims to the land, survey the geology, hydrology, and climate of the regions, study the Native Americans, and describe new species of animals. Which of the following animals was not first described by European Americans during their 862-day expedition? A. Whippoorwills. B. Grizzly bear. C. Pronghorn. D. White sturgeon. Or E. Sage grouse. So which one did they not discover for the first time?
Sage grouse, whippoorwill.
Okay, Mitch.
I'm gonna say the grizzly bear.
That is incorrect.
The
That was
grizzly
their
bear.
first documented interaction with them. And actually, there were like multiple instances where they were running away from grizzly bears,
Understandable.
like chasing them.
Yeah, I
That's
would
really
do that
funny.
if I
Awesome.
were them.
Yeah. Cooper, what do you think?
I'd fight
Don't they
it.
know Brown lie down?
They were not.
Grizzly, get
Get busy.
okay. Get Bisley
Grizzly
running away.
I'll say the grouse.
That is
That's what I was
incorrect.
thinking.
Give me grouse.
Show me grouse.
America Aidan, what do you think?
So the remaining ones are sturgeon and
Sturgeon, pronghorn, whippoorwill.
whippoorwill. I'm gonna say
I don't
sturgeon.
even know
That's
what
what I
a
was
whippoorwill
thinking.
is.
That is incorrect.
Dang.
50-50, Sam.
I love sturgeons.
Sam, is it a whippoorwill or is it the other one that I've already
Pronghorn.
forgot?
Is it
Whippoorwill or
I'll say
pronghorn?
pronghorn.
Okay, none of you got
It's
it.
the
It's the
whippoorwill.
It was the whippoorwill.
Do you guys know what a
Oh, this
whippoorwill
isn't March
is?
Madness. No, what's a
Insane-
whippoorwill?
So, okay, do you know what like a
Blockade.
nightjar is? Like that kind
No.
of bird.
Yes, I do know what a
Okay.
nightjar is.
They're
It
like
was on the birds
small
episode.
birds that have like kind of a Muppet-looking face. Like their faces are
What?
really weird. And whippoorwills,
didn't discover
they get their
Muppets
name
then?
from their calls. Because it
Sounds like they're saying
exactly
whippoorwill.
Like whippoorwill.
Oh.
Like that's what they sound like when they make their calls. They already knew about those guys. They're all over the East Coast.
Everybody.
Fun
knew
fact.
That was nothing new.
Yeah.
The Spanish learned of Lewis and Clark's trip towards the end in March of 1804 and tried to send their military out to imprison them, but were ultimately unsuccessful.
Dang.
Jefferson, a staunch anti-federalist and a government opponent of government spending, gave a speech about the trip to Congress. So he spent about one sentence summarizing the success of the trip, like congratulating them, and then spent the rest of his like pretty long speech trying to justify the very meager amount of money they spent on the expedition. And he was like, guys, I promise this $3,000 we spent is worth it. And then Lewis and Clark were just standing there kind of awkwardly. I also want to give a quick
Horrified.
shout out to my friend and fan of the podcast, Dylan. We're going to redo that because I said the wrong.
No, leave it in.
I want to give a quick shout out to my friend and fan of the podcast, Dylan, who is a direct descendant of Meriwether Lewis. Not
Shout
doxing
Dylan!
him, but shout out. There you go.
Yeah, now they'll trace his
Yeah,
tree.
you
and
can
they'll
trace-
Get
find
on
it.
Ancestry.com and trace that shit.
If you want to trace his family tree down to my friend Dylan, then I guess you've doxed him, but
Wow.
I will be
Congrats.
impressed.
That's one Patriot point if you do
Yeah,
that.
if you do, one Patriot point.
I'll do it right
Question 4.
Only true patriots understand.
No Googling,
now.
Mitch.
Oh, right.
Question 4. By July 4th of 1812, only a few years after the Louisiana Purchase from Napoleonic France, the United States had entered another war with Britain. You see, Britain was at war with Napoleonic France and didn't want anyone trading with them, so they prevented us from doing so. They also did this during World War I as well. They also kidnapped sailors on American vessels, including many American citizens. So we declared war. As you know, the Star-Spangled Banner was written by Francis Scott Key as he witnessed the bombardment of Fort McHenry during the Battle of Baltimore. The first verse of the poem, Defense of Fort McHenry, is what is commonly sung today, but his poem contains 3 more verses. How does the second verse of the Star-Spangled Banner begin? So I will give you the starting line.
Wow.
Of all
He's
these
saying
different
a
verses.
Is it the
can sing
third
it.
one that mentions putting down rebellious slaves or something? Is that the third one? I can't
We may
remember.
get into that.
Oh, okay.
A.
I can't remember.
When our land is illumined with liberty's smile. B. And where is the band who so vauntingly swore? C. O lose be it ever when free men shall stand. So that's kind of referring to that. D. On the shore dimly seen through the mists of the deep. Or E. Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light all the verses start.
That's
and
what
end
I
with
was
the same way
thinking.
at this first verse.
Ooh,
American
I was
Aidan.
thinking it was going to start with the same thing. I was like,
That
it's
makes
all of them are going to
sense.
start with "Oh, say can you see?"
Okay. And that is incorrect. He did write something different for all of them.
Nice.
Mitch, what do you think?
What was D
Try
again?
singing it.
Yeah.
On the shore dimly seen through the
On the
mists of the
shore,
deep.
dimly see through the mists of
That
the
sounds right to me.
That kinda
I'm gonna go
goes.
with that.
That
Yeah.
fits.
I'm gonna go with
Good.
that.
Okay, and that would be correct.
Wow.
Patriot point to you, Mitch.
Thank you.
That's me giving the Patriot point.
Thanks.
Nice. Well, so I didn't get a real Patriot point, Steven?
Yeah, you didn't do the ding.
Oh, you're right.
I'll take it.
You know,
I'll
what?
take it.
I'll do one right now.
Oh, wow.
Feel
Thank you,
good.
Steven.
I feel
I
even
haven't
more
got one
patriotic.
either yet.
Oh, okay.
You
Hold
need to
on.
get a good
Yeah,
question.
one more
time.
Wait, no,
One more time.
no. He hasn't got no
No, he
question.
hasn't got the
Wait,
question.
wait.
He's trying to trick you.
He's trying to trick me. He's tricky.
I almost got one. I almost got
It's
one.
tricky.
He almost got one.
I'm a little tricky.
Mitch is a little tricky. So it goes, on the shore dimly seen, through the mists of the deep, where the foes haunt the host, in dread silence reposes. And then it continues from there. I'm not going to sing the entire thing.
Could you
The
imagine?
second verse has some serious aura, though. I think.
It does. I think so. Could you
Like
imagine?
the creepy, description of mists of the deep and stuff. That's cool.
Ooh, yeah.
You know how people start
Cthulhu.
yelling or cheering right before the end of the song? Could you imagine if
Yeah.
you do it and then you keep going?
Imagine if you did all that
And
with
the
4
hope
verses.
of the brave, the flyover happens on the
on the shore.
Everyone just stands around awkwardly.
That's good.
Fun fact about the War of 1812, it was extremely unpopular with New England at the time, to the point where secession was discussed. Massachusetts refused to send troops to invade Canada, and Britain wanted to conquer the largely loyalist territory of New Ireland, now known as Maine. The War of 1812 was a fundamental turning point in American identity. Before the war, many Americans still saw themselves as an offshoot of the British Empire, but after what many considered the Second War of Independence, nationalism soared, and the era of good feelings began. Question 5. Now, to speedrun through the next couple of decades, America became a one-party state for a while as the Federalist Party collapsed. The U.S. acquired Florida from Spain through the Florida Purchase Treaty, and the U.S. began to look further westward, as all that land that Lewis and Clark had explored, with desires of manifest destiny. While this was going on, Mexico had also gained its independence from Spain and had just inherited its vast territories, including their northern territories in California and Texas. But the Mexican government struggled to govern them, especially considering the low amount of people they had in these territories. So they invited Americans to settle in them. Americans very quickly became the majority of the population of Texas, and in the community of Austin, basically operated independently from Mexican rule, alongside the previously settled Tejanos. The newly elected conservative president of Mexico and full-time Napoleon LARPer, Santa Anna, didn't like that, so he went to quash their semi-independence. This happened in October of 1835, but by the next July 4th in 1836, the Texan revolt had already started and ended, with the 2,000 or so Texan troops defeating the 6,500-strong Mexican army.
Wow.
What won Texas its independence so quickly? Is it A, the Alamo, never forget?
Never forget.
B, the
Alamo.
Texan army launched a surprise counteroffensive and took Mexico City. C, The Texan army ambushed and captured Santa Anna and forced him to give them their independence. D. Flash floods at the Rio Grande wiped out the majority of the Mexican army early into the conflict. Or E. The execution of surrendering Texan troops angered the United States, who entered the war on their behalf and crushed the Mexican army. So what is responsible? Sam.
What was the second one?
The Texan army launched a surprise counteroffensive and took Mexico City.
Oh. Was that the only surprise one of those? Surprise attack?
C is the Texan army ambushed and captured Santa Anna and forced them to give them their independence.
Ooh. Gosh. Okay, I'll say C.
Okay, and that would be correct.
Let's
Nice.
go.
That's what I was going to say.
Is that is the Spanish-American War, or is that different than the Spanish-American
This is
War?
the Mexican-American War. The Spanish-American War
Mexican-American
happened
War.
later
Sorry.
due to, Cuba and all
Yeah.
that jazz.
Blame the main on Spain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You remember the Yellow Papers.
I don't know.
All that part.
Yep.
You remember that stuff.
I remember.
So remember that Santa Anna thought he was the next Napoleon. So he led his comparatively massive army into Texas. But as he marched north, chasing Sam Houston's army, he kept subdividing his troops and sending them off to raid different cities throughout Texas, such as San Antonio, which is where the Battle of the Alamo took place. As Santa Anna chased the Texan army, he believed that the revolution was on its death throes, so he underestimated their forces. Meanwhile, Sam Houston's men captured a Mexican courier who had information on Santa Anna's locations and prepared a surprise assault, knowing that Santa Anna had an extremely small army at this point. It went perfectly, and Santa Anna was forced to sign in favor of Texan independence or die.
What a dumb mistake.
Wow.
It couldn't have been me.
What a dumb. Wow. Yeah, if Mitch was at the Alamo, it would have been over by now.
No basement at the Alamo.
Mitch, I feel like giving you a spirit point for that response.
Yeah, thank you.
That was pretty
Yeah, the American spirit. Manifest destiny, Mitch.
Yeah, that was powerful. While becoming the
Nice.
28th state was overwhelmingly popular with Texans, in contrast to how some Texans like to remember it now, it was controversial in the U.S. due to an issue I've mostly neglected thus far, slavery. Thomas Jefferson, who was a slave owner, wanted to declare that the British had forced America to accept slavery in the Declaration of Independence, but this was actually removed in order to appease the delegations from the southern states who were economically dependent on slave-driven agriculture. And it remained a contentious issue, with all attempts to outlaw the practice due to its obvious violation of the inalienable God-given human rights thwarted by the southern states.
Amen.
So they kicked the...
Good speech.
So they kicked the can down the road, and the institution
Yeah, I'm sure
of
that'll never
slavery
pop up again.
got more entrenched and threatened to grow bigger with the westward expansion. The U.S. had, in this era, made itself a powder keg that with any spark could erupt into civil war.
Wow, way to tee up.
What a transition.
Tee up
And with
round
that-
two.
Round 2, we'll hand it over to Mitch
Yes,
to host
thank
the
you.
next era of American history.
Thank you. Thank
Wow.
What's
you.
going to happen?
Should we
I
do
did
it?
not
Should we
have
do a
as good
score
of
check real quick?
segue into the next round that Steven had in mind.
Do you want to do a score check real quick before we start?
Yeah.
Patriot
Let's do a
point
quick
check.
point check.
I have one
points.
Patriot point.
I also have
Okay.
one Patriot point.
Cooper?
Mitch?
I have 0 Patriot points.
I have 2 Patriot points, actually.
Okay, very cool. Very
Ooh,
cool.
and we all missed one.
I'm not going to get any
Classic.
next round, though, Cooper. So
Ooh,
Yeah.
right.
You have time to catch
Come
up.
alive.
Yeah, Steven's also at 0, just so
Yeah,
you guys
I'm
know.
also-
I won't give you any Patriot points during my round.
what the hell, man?
Crazy. Wow, we might have some civil war going on. Take it away, Mitch.
All right, then let's go ahead and
Chills.
jump into
Chills.
round 2. This is all about the Civil War and a little bit after as well. Question 1. July 4th, 1861, the not-so-United States were heading towards total war. Lincoln had been elected, which was the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back. More states had succeeded, but both sides were mobilizing troops aggressively. Wait, yeah, what?
Succeeded.
Seceded.
Succeeded. Sorry,
They're
succeeded.
doing it. They're doing it.
Succeeded. Sorry.
Virginia?
We'll edit that out. We'll edit that out.
I'm good at it.
Oopsies. 17 days later, on July 21st, was the very first major land battle of the war, the Battle of Bull Run. Thus began the bloodiest war in American history, the Civil War. Most died of disease, which wasn't helped by the fact that living condition in prison camps grew worse to the point of inhumane conditions as the war dragged on and prisoner exchanges broke down. Of the following prison of war camp conditions, so I'm going to give you a list of conditions, which is not something that occurred.
Oof.
Oh, jeez.
So one of these I made up.
It's false.
It's false.
You're tricky. You're tricky.
Nice.
I'm tricky.
He's tricky.
All right. A. When food shortages ran low, prisoners celebrated when they found a rat because they could catch and eat them. B. Vinegar was really the only thing preventing prisoners from getting scurvy, and if you didn't have a cup, you had to cup it and drink it with your hands. C. At one prison in Georgia, the only source of water was a dirty stream that people drank, bathed, and relieved themselves in. D. In New York prisons, some people didn't have tents, let alone barracks, so many froze to death in the winter. Or E. One camp was so overcrowded that a line called the Deadline would form of people wanting to be shot and killed by Confederate soldiers because life there was like hell.
What the heck?
Which is also the origin of the word deadline, by the way.
Etymology Mitch back at it
What can I
again.
say? So which is not true.
That's crazy.
Whoa.
Okay. I'm first buzzed in, by the way. You gotta
Okay.
call him out.
Oh, sorry.
Just so you know.
I'm not on the
like
screen. I'm
coaching
not on the buzzer screen.
Hey, Mitch, in case you don't know how this
Okay.
works,
I
let me
got it
explain.
now. Okay.
I'm
Steven.
thinking, see, the rats aren't too different from what, like, the Southerners were eating anyways, because they're hunting possum and stuff, and I feel like, I would celebrate.
You caught a rat and you can eat it.
Yeah,
enough.
well,
Yeah,
that's,
You're starving. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I'll go with New York.
The freezing to death in the winter.
Frozen people in New York.
That is definitely true. Yeah, there was one. So that's incorrect. There was one camp in New York where basically they didn't have any clothes and didn't have a tent, and so I think
Whoa.
Oh, they're walking
hundreds
around
to
naked.
thousands froze to death. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Jeez.
All right.
Wow.
Next up is Cooper.
I think you made up the stream that they would drink, bathe, and defecate in.
No, that is true. That is true. Unfortunately, and I forgot to write down, but it was like the worst camp was there in Georgia. I forget the name of it off the top of my head, but it was like notoriously terrible.
Bad camp.
Oof.
There was a guy whose whole battalion was taken and brought to this camp. I think it was like 47 men, and he was the only survivor.
Oh my god.
Anyways, okay.
Wow.
Next up is Aidan.
I'm saying you made up the origin of the word deadline thing.
And Aidan, that is correct. That is correct.
Wow.
So now a little fun fact: the word deadline does come from the Civil War, but instead, basically, they had these raised walls that Confederate soldiers would stand on, and then they erected a wooden fence around the the inside of the camp. And if you crossed that fence or even really got close to it, then they would just immediately shoot and kill you, no questions. And that is the origin of the word deadline. So I was being a little
Interesting.
tricky. I was being a little tricky.
That's a little tricky.
there.
As per usual.
As per usual.
As per
All
usual.
right.
Classic
That's interesting.
Mitch.
Yeah. Well, nice job, Aidan. You get the Patriot point.
Thanks. Ding.
Way to
Okay.
keep it going.
Mitch.
Is there a tally of how many people total they estimate died in prison camps? Like out of the
I don't have that, but they probably have
Overall.
some
Casualty
number.
number.
It was
Yeah.
a majority.
I
so
guess I never thought about that
A majority of the people
Majority?
who died.
That's
No,
crazy.
a majority of the people who died in the Civil War was due to dysentery, diarrhea, and/or like being amputated. Most people didn't
Wow.
even die in the war from like being shot and killed. It was just like disease. It was terrible.
well, like,
That's crazy.
I guess that's on a positive note.
No,
Like we didn't kill each other. Well, there was a lot of that.
Well, we wounded each other, which led to disease.
Right. I would say it's probably worse. Because
You don't get amputated just because you like shook hands on the battlefield.
well.
Did I show you, Aiden, the quarters where they kept the Confederates at Camp Randall? I swear we walked right by it at
Did
the
we?
stadium. Yeah, they have.
Oh
they have
yeah,
the
you did
preserved
show me
building, yeah.
that.
I'm
Yeah,
sure a
that
lot of
was
people
crazy.
died there.
So I will say this: the conditions both in the North and the South were probably both. I mean, they were both really bad.
Equally terrible. Yeah.
They're, I wouldn't say equally. It seems to me that the South was a little bit
Was
worse,
worse?
especially because like a lot of it was just due to like poor management. Like just it wasn't run well. So
South.
that's basically
Yeah.
When you run on one ticket, You don't do well on the other things, when you're a single ticket item kind of guy.
All right, nice job, Aidan. Let's go to question 2. By July 4th, 1863, the war was half over, and already there were a lot of unbelievable and heartbreaking stories that had occurred and were still to come. I'm going to give you a list of true stories from the Civil War, but one is a complete fiction and rather like a famous tall tale of the Civil War. So
interesting.
All of these are just crazy stories. One of them is well known, I would but is not true.
Okay.
A lot of people think it's true, but it's not true. Okay. A is, after the Battle of Shiloh, soldiers reported that their wounds gave off a slight blue light that they called angel's glow because it caused their wounds to grow faster. And modern scientists discovered that it was a bioluminescent bacteria that acted as an antibiotic. B, Union Sergeant Driscoll shot and killed his own son who was fighting for the Confederacy. He rushed into battle against the Confederates out of grief and anger and was ultimately shot and killed himself. C, Union soldier Jacob Miller was shot in the head. His unit thought that he died, but he survived and managed to escape behind enemy lines and return home, and he lived a full life despite a gaping hole in his forehead. D,
I've heard of that.
Confederate slave Robert Small's actions convinced Lincoln to allow black soldiers into the Union Army after he commandeered a Confederate transport ship in Charleston and brought it to the Union, and in the process he freed himself, his crew, and their families. Or E, Wilmer McLean's house was destroyed in the Battle of Bull Run, which I mentioned earlier. He moved, and ironically, Robert E. Lee wrote terms of surrender in his new house. So you could say the war started and ended at this man's house.
Whoa.
I've heard that one too. I've heard
I think that
4
one's
of
true.
those.
I think that one's true because the's the whole thing of like the war started in his backyard and ended on his porch.
So
But
one
Mitch
of these
said it was
is
a well-known
famous
myth.
hoax. Somewhat famous hoax. So which one? First up is Cooper. What do you think?
I think the one where the dad shot his son is not real.
That is unfortunately a true story. True story.
That
Yeah.
sucks.
So that is
didn't know
incorrect.
That's also not exciting enough to be a hoax. Like, that's just sad.
Well, I thought it was like indicative of like brothers fighting brothers.
Right,
They're
Brothers.
all-
Yeah.
Dads fighting sons.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one too.
Dang.
Steven, what do you
I'm
think?
thinking of my second choice was maybe the slavery one. I don't know. That one sounds like like a big story to kind of like rally the troops and like kind of be a big example moment.
Yeah.
People like big flashpoint
I was
moments
thinking
that
the same thing.
lead to policy changes and stuff.
So you
It
think
makes
it's D,
history.
the Confederate slave Robert Smalls?
Yep.
That is also a true story.
Okay.
Really?
So basically, what happened
Well,
with
I'm
that
glad
one?
it is true.
Shoot!
Basically, what happened is like the white officers of the ship like came off, and then they asked before they left, "Hey, can our families come and before we depart, can we see our families?" And they said, "Yeah, sure." So they brought the families, but then they snuck the families off and then back on. And then they took the ship and sailed it into Union territory. And actually, what's cool?
That's cool.
What's cool is they used the Confederate ship. They turned it into a Union ship, and it fought in the Civil War against the Confederacy.
Whoa.
Wow.
But
That's awesome.
It is like reportedly, it is the reason why Lincoln ultimately allowed Black Americans in the Union to fight.
I didn't
Interesting.
know that.
Is that's not the USS Indiana, is it? That was a
No,
different
no.
Confederate airship. Okay.
Okay. American Aidan. What's left?
This sucks because it's the 3 ones that I think I knew. So
The Angel Glow. The
Angel Glow, Hole in the Head,
and
start ended in this guy's
Yes.
house. That's the one that's a pretty famous. I've heard a Hole in the Head guy. I've heard of the Angel Glow one. I'm going to go with signing the thing in the guy's house.
that is also a true story. That is also a true story.
Okay, nice.
Okay. So Sam, it's a 50-50.
Hole in the head.
That is
gotta be
also
Hole in
the
the
true story.
It's the Angel Glow one?
Angel Glow. So
Are you kidding?
no. So Jacob
hard.
I
Miller.
thought for sure.
Jacob Miller is actually
Wow.
from Logansport, Indiana. Little fun fact.
Interesting.
And so he actually went back to
Local fun fact.
Logansport to get and he lived the rest of his life. I think he died at the age of 88. So Angel
That's really
Glow,
cool.
Angel Glow is interesting because it's a pretty big relative hoax in that like a decent amount of people have heard of it. There are actually no reports from the Civil War era that report on this phenomenon. It wasn't
Interesting.
until the bacteria was discovered where they spun
That
the
the story-
story of the Angel Glow.
Interesting.
So that
Kind
it
of
wasn't actually.
retrospective.
Yeah, I think There's basically no contemporary or there's nothing other than that story.
Good defense.
Yeah.
Mitch.
Let's go ahead and switch to question 3. July 4th, 1865. The Civil War was freshly over, but the country was still reeling. 3 days later, July 7th, 1865, Mary Surratt, Lewis Powell, David Harold, and George Atzerodt were executed by hanging. Their crime? Conspiring to kill the president and other high-ranking officials.
Thank God that didn't happen.
Well, it did happen. So some people don't know that the assassination of Lincoln was a much larger plot. First off, it targeted Vice President Andrew Johnson and Secretary of State William Seward, who we'll get to later on. But only the assassination of Lincoln was successful. John Wilkes Booth actually also planned on kidnapping the president at first, but that plan leveled up to assassination after the end of the war. So he was hoping to achieve something. My question is, what was Booth's original plan if he were to kidnap Lincoln? Why did he want to kidnap Lincoln instead of just outright kill him? Is it A, hope that his disappearance would distract Union resources and turn the tide of the war? B, to force Lincoln to sign a peace treaty recognizing the Confederacy as an independent nation. C, to negotiate the release of Confederate prisoners of war. D, to bring Lincoln before a Confederate military tribunal to be tried for war crimes. Or E, to compel Congress to legally recognize the rights of Southern states to own slaves before releasing them. All right, first up is Aidan.
I'm going to say E, because I think the war was already pretty much done when he got assassinated. So if the timeline was remaining the same, maybe he was like, okay, we did lose the war, but let's get this extra thing in there. Just
right. Unfortunately, it's incorrect. Sorry. Yeah.
No worries.
Something I should mention maybe is that he had this plan and he actually attempted a couple times to kidnap him, but they were unsuccessful.
And then they framed Nick Cage's grandfather,
right.
And that's why we have National Treasure 2,
right,
the
Sam,
Book of
what do you
Secrets.
I'm between the peace treaty one and the return of POWs. I don't know, but Aiden's line of thinking about what would a peace treaty do at that point, because they were so screwed, is kind of so I'm gonna go with the return of the Confederate POWs one.
And that is correct. Nice job, Sam.
Yes.
You get the Liberty.
Give it to him.
Yeah.
Patriot point, please.
Sorry, not Liberty
the
point.
Liberty
Patriot
point. I get the Liberty Bell.
There we go.
Sam gets to take over.
Yeah, so he was hoping
He found the
to
gold.
kind of negotiate the release of thousands of prisoners back home so that they couldn't be tried, basically. So
Gotcha.
that was his goal
Interesting.
at first, but after the war ended, he said, screw it, I'm just going to kill this guy.
Ah, just kill him.
To kill him.
Quick, easy.
Six Emperor
Yeah,
Turin.
and then the guy who was to kill the vice president, he got drunk the night before and kind of chickened out.
Oh yeah, I've heard
Nice.
that before. Yeah.
And then the guy who was going to kill Seward, he actually got into his house and got into fights with his kids, and it was pretty bad and badly hurt Seward. But ultimately Seward survived. And the guy,
That's my guy.
So kind of interesting.
Patriot.
Yeah.
Long enough to make a big goof.
Yeah. I think he even stabbed Seward, but Seward managed to survive. Yeah.
Wow.
Nice job.
Yeah. All right. Nice job, Sam. All right. Let's move on to question 4. July 4th, 1865, Independence Day celebrations were grand in the North, but subdued in the South following the end of the Civil War. The war was over and many slaves had been freed, but not all of them. Possibly the most famous example was on June 19th, 1865, when Union troops arrived in Galveston, Texas, to enforce the Emancipation Proclamation. Celebrations started out in the town, then the state, but when formerly enslaved Americans moved westward and Juneteenth or Freedom Day celebrations were brought with them. It became a federal holiday in 2021, but in truth, it does not mark the anniversary of the last slaves being freed in the United States. Of the following events, what, for the most part, ended the practice of slavery completely in the United States? A. The ratification of the 13th Amendment when slaves in border states like Delaware were freed. B. The ratification of the 14th Amendment that guaranteed all individuals born or naturalized in the U.S. are citizens. C. Treaties with Native American territories that outlawed slavery. D. Many months after June 19th, 1865, when the Union Army fully spread across Texas. Or E, I lied and Juneteenth was when the last slaves were freed. For the most part. Let's start with Cooper. What do you think?
I think it's the Union Army one. I know they kept fighting a while after the war actually ended.
So like until they finally spread all over Texas? Unfortunately, that's incorrect. What do you think, Steven?
Maybe it's the Native American one because their legislation is different. So maybe it was still like
That's
on the
interesting,
books.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Their jurisdiction.
That is correct. Nice job, Steve.
Nice.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So the last slaves in the United States were owned by some tribes in the United States
Wow.
at the time. They didn't see them.
Not cool, Native Americans.
They didn't really like see themselves beholden since there were special laws that were over them. They weren't.
Yeah.
They didn't see themselves as beholden.
Sovereignty.
Now there were some Native American tribes that independently outlawed slavery. I think it was like the Cherokee did that, but it wasn't until June 1866. When that treaty happened, that outlawed slavery. Yeah. But another fun fact that people don't know either is, there was a little bit of truth in the 13th Amendment in that when Lincoln did the Emancipation Proclamation, it did not affect some of the border states that the Union was trying to keep in good graces with. And so it wasn't until the 13th Amendment that some of those border states officially, like slaves were freed, like Delaware.
Had
Yeah.
like the force of law behind it.
Exactly.
Interesting. All right.
I know when
Delaware.
I lived in Texas, there was a place nearby where it was like, this is where the last major battle of the Civil War happened, and it happened after the war ended because they didn't know that the war had ended yet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Communication takes time, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, nice job, Sam. I think that was you, right?
No,
No,
it was
Steven.
Steven.
You didn't give
Steven,
him.
sorry,
You didn't-
my bad.
you didn't give him
That's
the-
names.
yeah.
I haven't given you the point yet, so that's good. All right, Steven, here you go. Ding.
Nice.
Okay,
My
let's
first
do
one.
the last question. Question 5. Y'all know that I have to do a Seward's Folly question. I just have to. Yes.
Please.
By
People were
July,
begging.
people were begging.
I was begging.
By July 4th, 1866, a little more than a year after the end of the Civil War and assassination of Lincoln, Andrew Johnson was focused on Reconstruction, if you can call what he did focusing on it.
Ouch.
We'll be generous.
Secretary of State William H. Seward was tasked with restarting conversations about purchasing the land that is now modern-day Alaska. The negotiations concluded on March 30th, 1867, with the purchase of the territory at the price of $7.2 million, or about 2 cents per acre.
Wow.
It was it was a steal, for sure.
How foolish of him. Yeah.
I mean,
What a
yeah.
blunder.
There were some Russians in the area, but most were transient workers who, when given 3 years to vacate, left fairly quickly. In Russian fashion, they actually all overcrowded a boat and got roaring drunk on their way back to Russia.
That's really fun.
There's like accounts of how
As it
bad
should be.
the experience was on the boat. There was, however, a small number that chose to stay, of Russians that chose to stay.
Oh.
They actually baked in a pathway to citizenship with the treaty. But what was the requirement to do so? Like, what were you required to do in order to
interesting.
become a U.S. citizen if you were a Russian who stayed in Alaska?
That's so interesting.
Oh.
So all of these are made up except for one.
Okay.
A, the Russians had to denounce Russia and pledge allegiance to the United States. B, they had to take a citizenship test, like very similar to the kinds of citizenship tests that were already kind of happening like later in the U.S.'s history. C, they had to pay a naturalization fee of $10. D, they had to adopt American names. So they couldn't have Russian names. They had to have American names. Or E, they didn't have to do anything.
This is which is or which
Yeah,
is
which
is
is
true.
Which is.
Which is true. Which is the thing that they had
Which
to do.
is.
I'm gonna say
Steven.
American names.
That is incorrect. Sorry, Steven.
That was a good one. I like that
Yeah,
one
I
a
came
lot.
up with
Yeah.
that one. I was, proud
I
of
was
that.
like, that sounds crazy enough to be true.
Right. Okay, Aidan, what do you think?
I think it's kind of insane if they don't have to denounce Russia. So I'm going to say that one.
Unfortunately, that's also incorrect. Sorry.
They didn't have to do that at all? Oh my gosh.
Okay.
But was Russia really an enemy at that point?
No.
Like,
Just
right.
bought.
So
No, but like, I feel like to become a citizen, you kind of have to be like,
you can have dual citizenship.
well, you can, but like, I figured in the past they might not have wanted that.
This is a
We
very
were
small
enemies
number,
with-
by the way.
Yeah.
Oh,
My
okay.
guess is we're talking about like in the high double digits.
I doubled it.
I think, yeah. Cooper, what do you think?
$10.
$10. Nope.
Give me
They didn't
$10.
have to
$10
pay
for finishing.
anything.
$10.
I'm about to have good defense. Okay, Sam, it's
My favorite
either-
option: do nothing.
That is correct. They didn't have to do anything.
Hey, or just if they wanted
I
to.
love
Nice job, Sam.
picking that one.
Yeah,
for
so
me.
basically they were told you have 3 years like to go back home to Russia, and most did. Like most were not even there to live; they were there just to work. And so most went back to Russia. There were a few that stayed, and actually, what's cool is there are some small communities in Russia or in Alaska that actually still speak Russian. Because like
That's
it's
cool.
a
Wow.
mix between like indigenous and Russian languages because some of them stayed.
Wow.
So it's pretty cool.
Very cool.
I'm pretty
but
sure
no,
they
they
started
didn't-
colonies in like California too. Even there's like Russian-speaking colonies in
Interesting.
California.
Yeah, but they didn't. As long as if they stayed there for the past the 3 years they were given to leave, then they were just given American
They're
citizenship.
like, okay, well, I guess
Cool.
you can stay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, you
Well,
stayed.
Yeah. All right.
Now team me up, Mitch.
I have a fun fact. How about that?
Okay.
The purchase of Alaska is ironically referred to as Seward's Folly. But in truth, actually, most Americans were in favor, or at the very least, indifferent to the purchase. So in truth, it was the political opposition to the Reconstruction era that people called it Seward's Folly.
Oh.
So it was really like no one really cared or they liked the idea of getting Alaska.
And then they found like a whole bunch of oil, so it ended
Right,
up working
it ended
out.
up
Yeah,
So
definitely worth it. Yeah.
But like it was a very small minority, and it was mostly like Southern people who were against Reconstruction. Were like, oh, look at this dumb
they were
thing.
just like
that he
against
just did."
anything he did. Yeah.
Exactly.
it's like the previous equivalent of like modern day Fox News Obama tan suit drama.
Right, exactly. Basically, maybe a little more substantial than that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Next up is Aidan. I don't have a T. Sorry.
All right, can we get a point
Yeah,
check
point
before
check.
we go into?
I still have 0.
Sorry, Cooper. I have a 2, by
I
the
have
way.
2 as well.
By the way,
I just
I
have,
have 3.
One.
Wow, Sam.
Okay, Sam's got
Our
3.
most patriotic going on.
Got that.
But now we're taking a little trip. Reconstruction has ended. The turn of the century has happened, and we're getting in to the 18th century, early 18th century. So, question 1. On July 4th, 1914, we were
20th
celebrating
century.
our
Wait, I'm so confused.
20th century. Sorry, God.
We just jumped
Numbers
back 200
backwards.
years.
We're going into the 20th century.
I'll run it back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's run it back. Steven, tell me 1776. No, just kidding. So on July 4th, 1914, we were celebrating our independence as always. But across the seas in Vienna, Australia, a small private funeral was held for the late Archduke Franz Ferdinand. While this ceremony seemed lackluster and unimportant, his assassination had wide-ranging impact, kicking off what is known as the Great War, the war to end all wars, the war that's never going to have another war, or most famously, World War I.
Definitely not. Definitely
So
not.
while President Woodrow Wilson initially kept the United States neutral in the conflict, unrestricted submarine warfare and other German meddlings, such as the Zimmerman telegram trying to get Mexico on their side, soon forced our hand. With U.S. aid, after we finally joined, the Allies broke the stalemate and achieved victory over the Germans and their allies. Wilson then pushed for peace heavily in the resulting negotiations with his speech, The 14 Points, which inevitably led to the creation of the first global government, the League of Nations. Which of the following is true about the League of Nations? Is it A, the League of Nations was the only one of Wilson's 14 points to be implemented in the Treaty of Versailles? B, the League of Nations Charter included an automatic mutual defense clause like the one in NATO today, which was the main cause of World War II. C, while all member states in the League of Nations had voting power, the European allies were given veto power, similar to the UN today. D, the League of Nations still exists today, though many of its functions have been co-opted by the United Nations. Or E, the U.S. never joined the League of Nations despite Wilson's involvement. Steven.
I think it's the first one that was the only point, because I know that he basically implemented the aftermath of World War II. Like those were the same points and how they went with the end of World War II, and they just ignored him because they were like so pissed at Germany.
That is close to true. They were very pissed at Germany, but some of his points, like an independent Polish state and some other territory things, were also
Gotta
implemented. So that is
familiarize
not
myself
true.
with those
Steven.
points again.
Yeah, there were
Yeah,
14
Rita.
of them. So
Which one is
he had
not
like
true?
3 or
Which
4
one-
partially
So
implemented.
which one is true?
Which one is true? So a lot of these are false. Sam.
Oh. What was C?
true.
Yeah,
C
I totally
was
thinking the wrong way now.
European allies got veto power in the League of Nations.
So like the P5 now. I'll say that one.
That is not true. The League of Nations actually required unanimous agreement, which is part of the reason it wasn't super effective.
Oh.
Cooper.
What are the options again?
It still exists today. It included a mutual defense clause, or the U.S. never joined it.
I'll do the still exists today.
That is not true, Cooper. The UN is pretty much, the UN started as a separate organization, but as soon as it started, the League of Nations transferred over all their assets and stuff to the UN. So it is basically the evolution of it.
And what are the last two again?
The last two were the automatic mutual defense clause or the U.S. never joining.
It sounds so much like the U.S. not to join, like to insert themselves into something, and
then
then
be like, never mind.
and help or make something happen, and then not join. I'm gonna say that one.
That is correct,
Yeah.
Mitch. So despite Woodrow Wilson wanting the League of Nations, it's like the only thing he got out of the Treaty of Versailles, like the one thing they let him put in it. Congress voted against it because it didn't have an automatic mutual defense clause like for fighting, but it did have that in theory. But it just was like, we all have to talk about it if someone gets attacked,
Right.
which was not a mutual defense
Right.
clause, right? But that was enough for Congress to be like, we don't want anything to do with this shit. And so they didn't join it. So the U.S. was never part of the League of Nations, despite it being Woodrow
Which,
Wilson's
granted,
brainchild.
that's probably why we didn't enter into World War II as fast as we
all
did.
the appeasement stuff.
And I know that's, like,
World War II.
Why in the UN a bunch of like declarations we don't sign on to, even though like in theory
Same kind
we
of thing.
agree on them. It's because it's like, well, we need to vote on this before we can do anything.
Right.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of stuff. So the League of Nations was not very effective, and then it was dissolved and turned into the UN, which is more, but still not very effective. A lot of global policy things. All right, so that is 1 point to Mitch. Bing! Patriot point. And we're going to move into question 2. After the end of the war, the U.S. entered the Roaring '20s, an age of economic prosperity and social change. That's not true. Sorry. While known for things like the appearance of automobiles, electricity, or prohibition, arguably the most impactful thing to come out of this time period was the emergence of jazz.
You like
It
jazz?
was coined actually as the Jazz Age by F. Scott Fitzgerald, the author. Originating in New Orleans and coming from genres such as marching band music, which you might hear on the 4th of July, it spread north during the 20s in what is known as the Great Migration and found roots on the south side of Chicago and Harlem and New York City before spreading all over the globe. The question is, which of these famous jazz artists did not get their start during the Jazz Age? So I'm going to give you 5 artists. One of
Mitch
them did
has
not
a
start during the
bonus to
Jazz
this
Age.
one.
Is it A, Duke Ellington, B, Fletcher Henderson, C, Louis Armstrong, D, Ella Fitzgerald, or E, Count Basie? Steven.
Oh, man.
I'm gonna say Duke Ellington.
That's incorrect, Steven. Duke Ellington is one of the big figures in the Harlem Renaissance for jazz. Cooper.
I'm gonna say Louis Armstrong.
Also incorrect, Cooper. Louis actually started in New Orleans and was one of the main guys who brought it to Chicago. Like
And then to
started
New York.
improvisational
And then he went
jazz.
to New York afterwards, too.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's the coolest guy ever. Sam.
I think it's a little early for Ella Fitzgerald, so that's what I'm gonna say.
That is correct, Sam. 1 Patriot point
Yeah.
to you. She was born in 1917, so she didn't debut until 1934, but she kind of came up with all of these guys paving the way for her a little bit,
As
like
influence.
in that culture, in the Harlem Renaissance and stuff.
That's what I was
So,
gonna say.
I mean, she performed with Louis Armstrong all the time, right? Like love Ella though.
Yeah.
She's
Icon.
she's the best.
Fantastic.
But my hot take of the episode is I think that jazz is maybe the most important thing that the U.S. has given to the world. The most important thing to come out of the U.S. I'll say it. Culturally.
Wow.
Okay.
Culturally, yes. I would agree.
Culturally.
Yeah,
yes.
culture-
You
jazz
add that
music.
amendment on, yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Well, even like technologically, I feel like jazz has a bigger impact, the most impact on the world than like a lot of the things we've done. I would say jazz music, purely from the U.S.
I think I would agree with that.
It's a hot take.
We'll debate
You would
that
have to
later.
give me like a couple hours
Name
to
one.
mull it over.
Name
Right.
something. Name something that's more impactful
Get
than
back
jazz.
to me on it.
The internet.
I know.
But that's not exclusively the U.S., right? Like the jazz is fundamentally
Hey,
a
Al
United
Gore.
States
Well, I
creation.
Yeah,
he
give
did
Al Gore
invent the
his due
internet.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, jazz is. I mean, it's great, and yeah, it did spread to like Berlin and Germany, so they had their own Roaring Twenties with jazz music, but came out of New Orleans, which is interesting. All right, question 3. On July 4th, 1932, the Great Depression had people down. That's why they called it a depression. But hope was in the air as Franklin Delano Roosevelt had just accepted the Democratic nomination for president 2 days prior and given his famous New Deal speech, where he first mentioned the New Deal. Eventually winning the presidency, his policies were aimed at lifting the country out of the Depression through public services and were fairly successful, with many still being around today. Which of the following was not a result of the New Deal?
Ooh.
Is it A, it resulted in the creation of Social Security? B, it resulted in the legalization and protection of unions via the Wagner Act and other things? C, it resulted in the creation of the SEC and the FDIC to protect consumers and investors? D, it resulted in a rise of home ownership through the FHA and the Homeowners Loan Corporation? Or E, it resulted in a drastic rise in employment through agencies like the Public Works Administration, effectively ending the Great Depression? Steve?
I think it was the unions. Legalization of unions.
That is incorrect, Stephen. He did legalize unions via the Wagner Act during the New Deal. That was a big major win. Sam?
Remind me what D was, or the second
D
to
is
last.
it resulted in the rise in home ownership through the FHA and the Homeowners Loan Corporation.
Oh. That's the only one I don't... I'll say that.
That is incorrect, Sam. So he did found the FHA, and the Homeowners Loan Corporation was really important in people not losing their homes during the Great Depression because they could kind of refinance their mortgages and things.
Right.
Cooper.
Okay.
So what was your wording on the last one?
Didn't do the...
It resulted in a drastic rise in employment through agencies like the Public Works Administration, effectively ending the Great
I
Depression.
know the TVA was part of it, and that raised...
TVA was part of it. Yeah.
Okay, what was...
The time variance of the
What was A and B again?
A was Social Security, B was unions, which Steven said was wrong. C was the FDIC and the SEC.
I could have sworn he made the SEC during it. I'll say E.
That is correct, Cooper.
Yeah.
While the Public Works Administration did add a lot of jobs, the unemployment rate remained stubbornly high, and he could not get it down. And the only thing that really fixed the Great Depression and took us out of it was industrialization for the Second World War. So that is
Thanks,
one
World War II.
Thanks,
Patriot
World
point to
War
you. So yeah, he really tried, and it just did not work for a variety
Very
of reasons. A lot of those jobs required kind of skilled labor, which was a little hard to pull all of the unemployed people into those professions. But still a lot of good things to come out of it, and a lot of good, I mean, honestly, the New Deal, a lot of great things came out of that. Not always the most popular at the time, or today. All right, question 4. Speaking of industrialization for another war, on July 4th, 1944, the U.S. was deep into another one, the Second World War. But there was an end in sight. In Europe, U.S. troops were a month into the Battle of Normandy, or Operation Overlord, which had started a month earlier on June 6th with D-Day. These landings are the biggest seaborne invasion in history, and it was a joint operation where the Allied nations coordinated across the northern coast of Normandy, famously taking 5 major beaches before making their way inland in France. For each of the 5 beaches, which I will give you the names of all of them, what country helmed the invasion of that beach?
Whoa.
So this will be most wins.
Okay.
So your beaches are Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juneau, and Sword.
Juno.
Those are the
I
code
was
names
just
for
at
the
Normandy. I should know this.
Dude, it's so
Cooper should
cool.
know this.
I should
Yeah.
know this.
And are there
I've seen all
5
the beaches,
countries
and
that
they
you're
still
gonna
have. I'm not going to give you 5 countries. You just have to tell me which of the Allied nations helmed
You
those
better know
invasions.
'em.
Yeah, it's not 5
The
countries though, because it's some countries took more than one.
get? Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
US,
the no, I'm sorry, I forgot.
UK.
But the names are kind of a hint,
Oh, yeah.
a little
I
bit.
got one.
Thank you for that.
I got one for sure.
Okay, I think I'm ready.
All right.
Wait, are
well,
you
so
gonna
I'm
give
just
us
going to
the
wait till everyone's
countries?
done, and then I'm going to
No,
go down.
you
No, I'm not going to give you the
Hold on,
countries.
hold on.
It's the Allied powers,
Okay.
Mitch. It's World War II.
There's one I just don't know.
Yeah, I'm struggling to think of the last one.
Okay, I'll just guess.
I'm going to shot clock at 5.
There's only one I'm not sure on.
3, 2, 1. Lock in your answer.
All right.
Final
Only
one.
one
got
I'm
it.
not
Are you ready?
like, sold on.
Hands down. Hands up.
Okay.
All right.
I think I got it.
So I will give you them in order, and we'll count how many we get right.
Okay.
Utah Beach was landed by the U.S.
Yep.
helmed that
Makes
invasion.
sense.
Omaha Beach, also the
Yep.
U.S. Gold
Okay, here we
Beach,
go.
United Kingdom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Juno Beach,
Canada.
Canada.
Because Juno
Yes.
yeah.
Sword Beach, also the United
I got them
Kingdom.
all right.
I had gold
I got
and
'em all right,
Juno
too.
I got 'em all right.
flipped.
I had them
Steven?
all right.
I did not get that many right.
All right,
'Cause
so
I
Sam
tried
and
to come up
Mitch,
with 5 different countries for some
Patriot
reason mentally.
points to each
I was
of
like,
you.
wait, what? Why
Yeah.
are there 5?
Gold was
So
the only
the
one
landings-
I didn't know
Trying
for
to
sure.
submit the Soviet
Yeah, it's a little
Union
weird.
into there, and I was like,
Yeah,
no
the Soviet
way did they do
Union's
that.
Eastern Front, right? They didn't really get in on
Right.
this, but the landings were aided by Australian forces, Belgian
what I was-
forces,
yeah.
Czechoslovakia,
Yeah.
France, whatever remained of kind of the French rebellion army, because it was taken.
Yeah, okay.
Greece,
That's what I
the
was
Netherlands,
confused by.
New Zealand, Norway, Poland, South Africa, and Southern Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe, all participated
Wow.
in those landings, but they kind of organized based
awesome.
on running country.
Go team.
D-Day is so cool. It well, not, but also yes. If you go right now, like on the bluffs overlooking the beaches, they still have like the German artillery just like there,
Wow.
and you can go in it,
That's
and
cool.
it's insane. I mean, just looking at the pictures and stuff, you're like, wow. Jumping across to the other side of the world, question 5. While the U.S. had many allies on the European front of the war, the Pacific theater was a bit more of a hassle. The naval warfare and island hopping campaign were taking heavy tolls on the U.S. military, so behind the scenes, we were working on another option. On July 4th, 1945, the town of Los Alamos, New Mexico was busy preparing for the Trinity test, the first ever atomic bomb detonation, and 12 days later, it went off, changing the world forever. Which of the atomic bombs was Trinity a test for? Multiple choice.
Ooh.
Is it A, the little boy, which was dropped on Hiroshima? B, the fat man, which was dropped on Nagasaki? C, both the little boy and the fat man, as they had the same delivery mechanism?
Oh.
D, a radium bomb, which is deemed unsuccessful due to the low explosive yield of that material? Or E, the first tritium or hydrogen bomb, but it was deemed too risky for use in the war?
Dang
Sam.
I feel like I'm going to say the tritium bomb one.
That is incorrect, Sam. H-bombs came out a little bit later. I just wanted to throw you with the name of it.
Yeah, you did.
Steven.
Hook, line, and sinker.
You got to start with little boy.
Got him.
Little boy.
Gotta start with little boy. Steven, that is incorrect. It was not just the little boy.
Oh, so
Not
I feel like you
just
just
the
revealed.
little
I feel
boy.
like you just revealed the answer.
Not necessarily. I'm saying it was not exclusively a test for the little boy. Like, I'm not saying the other one is the answer. I'm saying that. Okay, Cooper.
I think it. I'm just gonna go with what I was gonna say. I think it was for Fat Man.
And that is correct, Cooper. It was a
okay.
test of the Fat Man, which was a plutonium bomb versus the little boy being a uranium bomb. The uranium trigger mechanism was so simple because they're just shooting a bit of like catalyzer or whatever into the uranium to start the reaction. They were like, we know this is going to work. It's the easiest thing ever. We don't need to test it. But the Fat Man is plutonium and used an implosion mechanism, which was like super theoretical. And they were like, okay, we should probably make sure this works before we drop it on a city.
Makes sense.
So
yeah.
that's how it happened. And then, yeah, that's the big test in the movie Oppenheimer.
Yeah, I ask
and-
myself that question
yeah.
every day.
What question?
That didn't make any sense.
What?
What? Let's move
keep
on.
going.
Let's
Let's
move
just keep
on.
going.
Let's move on.
Cooper, that's a Patriot point to you.
Yeah, Cooper.
And as we all know, after the victory in Europe and we dropped the bombs to get Japanese surrender,
What the fuck,
the
man?
end of the Second World War came to a close, with the U.S. going into the next era as the dominant global power. Let's send it over to Cooper.
Can I get a score check? I have 2 freedom points.
I still have 2.
5.
Whoa.
I'm just floundering at 1 here.
Yeah. Well, Sam, in the last round, Sam's not going to be able to
I
get any
know.
more points, so we'll have a number to beat.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. And I
Make
do want to
these questions
say,
hard.
before we pass it off to Cooper, I wanted to give a quick shout out for him for stepping in to write his section kind of last minute. Behind the scenes, this episode was a
lower
mess
the bar.
to organize.
Lower the bar. Sam,
Yeah.
what,
Yeah, right.
what period are you again?
Me?
Yeah.
1990s on is what Aidan
I
told
didn't
me.
realize that. Okay, cool. Anyway. I thought I was last, in all honesty.
Oh,
I don't think that changes
really?
anything, really, but
Okay.
Oh, okay.
on to round.
I guess it goes to show.
The Cold War immediately captured the U.S. after World War II and played itself out over the course of roughly 44 years, from 1947 to 1991. Each question this round will be roughly 10 years from the previous to cover those different decades.
Cool.
Nice.
Go back with me. It's July 4th, 1951.
I remember that.
World War II is over in Europe, and the world is still recovering. The U.S. follows the Truman Doctrine and the Marshall Plan, each in place to try to stop communism from spreading into recovering Europe. The first country to fall was Czechoslovakia in 1948 to a coup d'etat. But today, on July 4th, a propaganda court in Czechoslovakia sentenced an American journalist named William N. Otis to 10 years in prison after he admitted to spying for the U.S. government. Years later, Otis would recant his confession, saying that it was coerced. How many hours of interrogation was William Otis in before he finally confessed to espionage?
Oh.
This is multiple choice. I should have said that.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I figured everybody was writing every question as multiple choice.
Oh, okay.
A, 37. B, 42. C, 58. D, 61. Or
Wow.
E, 73.
Oh, I was gonna say like one.
No, that's what that was my first thought. I'm like,
I was coerced. I was coerced.
Yeah, right.
Mitch,
Shoot.
I'm going to go big. I'm going to go with 73.
73 is not correct. American Aidan,
50 something, whatever that one was.
58.
Yeah.
That is also incorrect. Steven,
The 40s one? I'm going to go with that.
42.
42.
42
Jackie
is
Robinson.
correct. So
Yeah.
just under
Didn't even make it
Next
four
up.
days.
Next up.
yeah, just under 2 days.
42 minutes.
42 hours.
It took him 42 seconds.
Can I have a glass of water? No. I'll confess. I'll confess.
No, he actually like slowly confessed through. So he was there as an Associated Press journalist, and he was writing about some of the things that the government didn't really want to be like super public, and so he confessed to that first. But they just like kept going, and it finally, like at 42 hours, they were like, "Say that you were spying for the American government," and he said yes.
Just
and,
to end it, yeah.
Just to end it, they
Wow.
sentenced him to 10 years. He only served like a few years before Eisenhower like wrote Czechoslovakia an angry letter, and they like said sorry.
Not cool.
But
Dwight
then-
My
Diaz.
bad.
They
go,
said sorry, let him go, and like cleared him.
Happens all the time.
Then they changed their tune and
Oh.
said actually he is guilty, and then they later on again said
Okay.
no, he's not actually.
Interesting.
So
They
if you
changed their
mutants
minds.
Just with
in there-
changes in
yeah.
power, they changed their.
Went
Yeah,
back and
Oh,
forth.
okay. So different
Wow.
leaders, like ideologically.
Glad
I
that
have to
doesn't
be like,
happen
they
in our
lied.
country.
Yeah. All right.
right.
This one's for you, Steven.
Nice.
My second one.
On to the 4th of July, 1961. The nuclear arms race is on. In the last 10 years, the U.S. has performed nearly 200 nuclear bomb tests, while the Soviet Union is close behind with around 150 by official numbers. And later this year, in October, the USSR will test the Tsar Bomba, the most powerful bomb ever detonated. But meanwhile, today, the first ever Soviet nuclear-powered submarine, K-19, suffers a complete loss of coolant to its reactor while on its maiden voyage.
Ooh.
Which of the following
Oopsie.
is not true about the K-19 incident?
Interesting.
A. The ship had an unlucky reputation after its christening went poorly and the champagne bottle bounced off its hull without breaking.
It happens.
B. The coolant failure was attributed to weld slag landing on a pipe, causing an invisible leak before it was pressed up to 200 atmospheres. C. Vasily Arkhipov, the Soviet officer who later prevented nuclear war during the Cuban Missile Crisis, was executive officer of the K-19. D. Reactor meltdown was only prevented due to another burst disk failure that allowed the coolant to flow into the reactor through an air vent.
Ooh.
Or E. The submarine was refurbished after the accident and was nicknamed Hiroshima.
Wow.
That's on the
Aidan.
nose.
We've talked about Vasily Arkhipov before, and I can't remember when it was, but I remember you trying to pronounce that name at some point. So I'm going to say it's that one.
I did it perfectly.
Shots fired.
I think it's that one.
Vasily Arkhipov was the executive officer of the K-19.
He
Interesting.
does deal with nuclear submarines.
When did we
it
talk about
seems.
the Cuban Missile? Oh, was it during Close Calls during March Madness?
Maybe.
Is that when we did it? Yeah.
Sam.
I think it was the second to last one about the meltdown being prevented by coolant leaking through an air vent or something.
Yes. That is not actually true. So in reality, there was no easy way out. The engineering team was actually commanded to go into the reactor compartment and weld a water line into an air vent, being exposed to massive amounts of radiation over the course of the work.
I'm sure.
Not
then
only
they got superpowers.
did 8 die within days, but during the work, the ventilation system carried irradiated air throughout the entire ship. It is largely believed to be the actual cause of the lung cancer that ended up killing Vasily Arkhipov in 1998.
Interesting.
Vasily Arkhipov is widely believed to have prevented nuclear war when the Soviet submarine B-59 lost communication with Moscow and was being pursued. Without communication, the captain and political officer wanted to launch their nuclear torpedo, believing war had begun above the surface. But they needed Arkhipov's approval as well in order to launch. Arkipov's role as executive officer on the K-19 gave him a poor reputation and actually affected the debate and why it was so big that he was finally able to convince the captain to surface and await orders instead. Because he was technically second in command,
He's the
but
guy.
they were like, you're freaking, like, we need to do this, and didn't believe in his reputation.
Remember what happened last time you were on a submarine?
Basically. Jeez.
Dang.
Damn.
Yeah, and it was later nicknamed Hiroshima because of it. It also, like, a ton of stuff happened with that ship. It like, the unlucky thing kind of holds true, because after they refurbished it and put it back out, like, it collided with another ship at one point and had a fire on board at one point.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa.
Yeah, like, tons of stuff.
Retire it.
It is retired now.
Okay.
Oh, thank
Nice.
God.
It's on a
Took him long
beach in
enough.
Tahiti.
10 years pass. It is now July 1971.
Ooh.
As Independence Day arrives, the
Disco.
nation is in tension with its leaders, as a month earlier, the Pentagon Papers were released, chronicling the U.S.'s involvement in Vietnam, including actions that were not made public. The documents were leaked by an aide for one of the leaders of the government task force that carried out the study. But what publication ended up breaking the story and later went to the Supreme Court against the U.S. government for the release?
Ooh.
A. The Washington Post. B. The San Francisco Chronicle. C. The New York Times. D. The Boston Globe. Or E. The New York Post.
The New York Times.
Steven.
I'm gonna go the Washington Post.
That's what I was.
Washington Post is incorrect.
Oh.
Mitch.
I was going to
Get him
say the
one
New
day.
York Times.
New York Times is correct.
Yes.
Oh, that's what I first thought.
The Washington
Can you imagine
Post
if the
was
New York
the one
Post
that
broke that story?
Watergate.
Yeah.
Watergate
that's what I was
Post.
thinking.
Okay, that's why.
The New York Times broke Pentagon Papers.
Okay.
New York Post is like page 1, celebrity drama. Page 2, the
San
Vietnam
Francisco
War.
Chronicles, like, what's going on?
Yeah, the Pentagon
would you
Papers
give us
are
this?
essentially like a super big study that, like, the U.S. government chronicled its own, like, history of the Vietnam War, but also chronicled a ton of, like, escalation stuff that just, like, wasn't publicly known, of, like, how much bombing was being done on, like, Cambodia and
That's
Laos
crazy.
and areas around.
Is that also where that photo came from, or was that the famous photo from the Vietnam War of like the kids with napalm burns on them?
Probably not from the Pentagon Papers.
Oh,
but
okay. Maybe a different source leaked that.
Came
I
out
think
at
the
some
Pentagon
point in
Papers
time.
were mostly just like information that wasn't previously available because it was like top secret that got leaked. Question 4. July 4th, 1982. The space race began in the 1950s, escalated in the 60s, and steadied in the 70s. But as the Apollo program ended, the desire was to make space economical for the government. The space shuttle program was designed to be reusable and save money as well as carry the pieces to the ISS. And today, July 4th, 1982, President Ronald Reagan declared the space shuttle to officially be operational as the final test flight was completed by which shuttle that was the first to be launched? A. Challenger. B. Columbia. C. Discovery. D. Endeavour. Or E. Enterprise.
Oh shit!
Oh, dang it.
Aidan.
I'm last.
Was it Challenger? Was that? I'm gonna say Challenger.
Challenger is incorrect.
Challenge it. He said
Challenger
challenge it.
it. Challenger it.
Fully operational.
Steven.
Okay, what was C again?
Discovery.
Discovery.
Isn't that also a Star Trek thing?
They're all Star Trek things.
Yeah.
I'll say.
The Star Trek
I'll
Challenger.
say. I'll say that one. Why not?
Discovery?
Yep.
That is incorrect. However, I did see Discovery launch when I was 10 years old. For the
Wow.
space shuttle.
Cooper flew Discovery when he was
Yeah.
10 years old. It was crazy.
Impressive.
Yeah. Sam.
Columbia.
Columbia is correct.
That was
It
yes.
its
Between
first
Challenger and Columbia. I couldn't
fly
remember.
and also its last to fail. All right. Point to Sam. Ding.
Wow, Sam
All
is
right,
just
and the
racking
final
them
question
up.
of the Cold War, July 1991. The Soviet Union is on the edge of dissolution. A year earlier in 1990, Russia declared itself sovereign from the Soviet Union, leading to Boris Yeltsin's election as president of Russia just a month ago in June 1991. Each state of the USSR is carrying out referendums to determine if they want to stay in the Union, and Yeltsin campaigned on criticizing communism as the dictatorship of the center. But which state was the first to declare independence from the Soviet Union, starting its fall that finished in December 1991? Aidan.
Oh, is it multiple
It is
choice?
multiple choice.
Can I wait? I forgot about that. Now I'll say it. Poland.
No. A. Lithuania. B. Latvia. C. Estonia. Mitch?
So I maybe also be benefiting from the tour that we took to a
'cause
lot
you
of
went.
these different. I think it's Lithuania.
Lithuania is
Wow.
correct.
And
Good
Latvia,
job.
Lithuania,
Nice.
Estonia, and Poland.
It was the first to declare
Yeah.
its independence on March 11th, 1990. So a lot of countries actually declared their sovereignty before actually declaring independence. So Estonia was first to declare its sovereignty before Lithuania, but it still stayed under the USSR before declaring its independence March 30th of 1990. So just a few weeks later.
I'm misremembering. Was Poland ever part of the USSR? Did they have like a puppet state at some
Yeah.
point? Am I just misremembering? Okay.
Yeah. They had a
It was just
Thought
not
I
one
was
of the
going
first ones.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. As the 1990s begin and the Soviet Union falls, that sets the stage
Sam rises.
for the new age of America
I've just got to surpass Sam here.
as we move
Okay,
into
can we,
How many
what are the
points?
points? I'm at 2. I have not been doing
I'm
very
at
well.
7 as
7.
well.
Oh shit!
Wait.
Cooper's round
Sam,
was really
Sam,
good for me.
Wait until I say my points first. I have 6
Okay.
points. How many do you have?
All right, anyway, on to Sam's round.
Oh, you can't let Mitch get like
Mitch is
more
being
than
silly
one.
this episode.
He is.
I am locking Mitch's buzzer here.
No.
Okay.
All right.
How many do you have?
2.
I'm
I didn't get
upset
any
I didn't
points
get the
that
music
round.
question. Aiden's music question.
What happened?
Yeah.
What's funny is I think I
along.
know enough that I was like thinking too much and I didn't buzz in
Yeah.
fast enough.
All right, let's
Okay,
get
Sam.
started. It would not be a question about the 90s without talking about the rise of the internet, which of course Al Gore claimed to invent during the 2000 U.S. presidential debate.
Right.
So, on July
Algorithm.
4th, 1995, which webmail service launched, deliberately tying its, quote, freedom from ISP-based email, unquote, pitch to Independence Day?
That's awesome. That's so awesome.
Oh shoot! Is it
Multiple choice.
It's multiple choice. I also realized I just closed the buzzer tab because I thought I was
So you
done.
can't
So
say
let
it.
me
Clear it?
reopen
Cooper
that.
went
Yeah.
first.
Hold on.
Well, I want to go before multiple choice.
Oh,
do you? Okay, go ahead.
America Online? AOL?
That is incorrect. Sorry.
I was gonna say AOL.
Dang.
I even had that as an answer choice, so you were way ahead
Dang,
of me.
it's the worst.
Is it A, Rocket Mail, B, you already eliminated AOL, C, Hotmail, D, Mail.com, or E, Yahoo Mail? We've got Cooper.
Yahoo!
That is incorrect. I'm sorry. Yahoo was actually the last of
More
these
like
services to
Yahoo.
launch. So
Darn.
What are the ones left?
Mitch.
Sorry. What are the ones left? I'm not gonna
we've
lie. I was
got
gonna say
Rocket Mail,
Rocket
Hotmail,
Money.
and Mail.com.
Thank you, Sam. Speaking of Rocket Mail, this
gonna
is
say
sponsored by Rocket
mail.com.
Money. Cancel your
Ooh, that's incorrect. That one
okay.
actually later became Yahoo Mail, so that was not launched.
Yahoo is mail.com.
So I've got
Hotmail and
Steven,
Rocket
so
Mail.
you have Rocket Mail and
Hotmail.
Hotmail to choose from.
4th
honestly.
of July.
Come on, Steven.
I'm thinking Hotmail
could
is
be-
so funny to me because that feels like the most like janky service ever.
Well, it
So,
could be hot
I feel
for
like
hot
that's
dogs.
true. I feel like a Hotmail.
Hot dog mail.
You got it right.
Or
It
it could
was
be the
Hotmail.
Rocket's red mail. No, stupid.
Freedom from
Rocket
ISP-based email, baby.
That's it.
Hotmail.com.
All right. So
Hot
we're going
mail's
to jump
near
to...
you.
Oh, wait, I need to do that.
Different service.
Hotmail.
All right. We're going to jump to July 4th of 1996, the day that the fantastic film Independence Day premiered.
Yes.
Where humanity's July
Of
4th
course.
counterattack famously involves uploading a computer virus to an alien mothership. Name either of the two actors whose characters fly planes into that for the final mission.
Oh,
Cooper.
Will Smith.
You got it. Yeah. Does someone want to take the other one? But you get the point.
Who's the other guy?
I don't remember the other
I
guy.
know the president is Bill Pullman.
Yeah.
The other
Daniel
guy-
Day-
Don't know the
Lewis.
other guy? Oh my
I don't
god.
know the other guy.
Jeff
It's been a
Is it
long time.
Jeff
Goldblum.
What?
Yes.
He
I
flies the
forgot
ship.
about that. Man,
Wow.
Jeff Goldblum has so many
Dang.
bangers.
I know.
It's been years since I watched
Jeff
Independence Day.
Goldblum
Oh,
is
such a
also
good
a
movie.
banger
Yeah.
himself.
It's been many Independence
One of my favorite
Days.
parts of that, I
It
was
has,
watching
it
it
has.
somewhat more recently, but not recently enough that I should have known Jeff
You remember?
Goldblum. And there's a whole part of like Bill Pullman as the president finds out like that they were keeping aliens hidden from him, and he was like, "I'm the president, damn it! I should have known about this."
Yeah.
This is good.
Good.
Keep going, Cooper. Keep going.
so
I know.
good.
Spoil the movie for everyone.
Our Independence Day.
This 30-year-old movie, spoil it for everyone.
No one's seen it yet. All right.
I'm still catching up.
Disclosure
I'm
Day?
only
Go see Disclosure
I've
Day,
got to
yeah.
work my way up.
Disclosure Day?
I gotta go see Disclosure Day.
Okay, you know it wouldn't be a Sam set of questions without a skyscraper question, so here we go.
Nice.
On July 4th,
Sam.
Be careful. I don't like
Check the calendar. Check the calendar.
Wait.
Sam.
I just realized how that can be interpreted. It's not that. It's not that.
Another banger Sam skyscraper question. Anyway, as we enter
Oh,
the
dude,
21st
2000.
century.
July 4th, 2001. Can't do that.
Okay, no, it's not that. It's not that.
Okay.
We need to cut that for my future sanity.
Fair enough.
Okay. On July 4th, 2004, the cornerstone was laid for One World Trade Center, which was then commonly known as the Freedom Tower. Yes. When One World Trade Center was completed, it was the 3rd tallest building in the world by architectural height. But as of 2026, what is its world ranking amongst completed buildings by architectural height? So I'll give you a hint. It has dropped. But
I was
what is
this
its
close to
Vanity
buzzing
Spire?
and saying 1776.
Okay. Is it multiple
That was
choice?
my original question. I'm like, Cooper's going to
this
know that. So
Multiple choice or open-ended?
no, just closest by rank. So
Oh,
just throw
man.
out numbers.
It was 3.
I just
Okay.
have no idea even.
Yes. So when it was topped out in 2014, it was 3rd. Now what is it today?
None of those
I will
previous buildings
say-
have come down.
11.
Yes. Okay.
So still pretty tall, but like, there's some tall buildings. That have
I
gone
know
up
the
the
Burj
past 20
Khalifa
years.
is taller.
Good job.
So it's at
Good
least
job, Mitch.
4. It's at least 4.
And this is the America 250 episode. I'm going to say 6.
Oh, I guess I forgot this.
Okay.
7.
Oh, sorry. I was not looking at the budget.
It's not your turn, Mitch. I'm gonna say
Oh,
7.
Nice.
Wait. Okay. Cooper, you're saying 7th?
Yes.
Okay.
1777.
So what? We have 11, 6, 7.
11. Yes. We have 11. 6,
Good work. Good work.
1167. Great year in U.S. history. Just kidding. That's not it.
Right. Going back to
Box
the 12th
Cooper
century.
out. He won't.
The Native Americans were kind of running the place.
I'll say 8. I think 8.
8. Okay.
Rude.
Boxing me out.
How
6, 7, 8,
appropriate.
11.
Cooper
I was
is
gonna
right
say
on
7.
the money. It's
Oh.
yeah.
I almost.
Were you actually going to say 7, Cooper? Were you
I
actually
was.
going to say?
I was.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mitch.
So when it was first completed, the Burj Khalifa and the Mecca Royal Clock Tower were already taller than it. So those were already completed. Since
Taipei 101
then-
came out.
What'd you say?
Did Taipei 101, is that taller? I can't remember.
Not by architectural height.
Vanity
Seriously?
Spire
Vanity
bullshit.
Fire strikes
By,
again.
by highest occupiable floor, yes.
Oh,
but we're not
it's
asking
occupiable. We're talking Vanity Spire.
Sam's being a little tricky here.
Sam's being a little tricky.
So since then, we've got Merdeka 118, which is in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. We've got the Shanghai Tower in Shanghai, which is the tallest building in China. The Ping An Finance Center in Shenzhen, China. And the Lot World Tower, which is in Seoul, South Korea. So all 6 of those, or those buildings surpassed
higher.
it, so now it's in
We
7th
never.
place by
U.S.
architectural
doesn't
height.
build tall towers anymore. What's
Yeah, make.
Not like we used
what
to.
happened?
Get on it.
But
I'm going to build a 2-story building with the largest Vanity Spire you've ever seen.
Mitch, your opportunity to beat Sam is closing in.
I know it's really
Come on,
close.
man.
Closing out. You got
I was going to
Did
say
you guys
7.
see-
I should have just said 7.
You
Hey,
didn't
cover
buzz
time
it
moment.
in.
Yeah.
Listen,
are there
The
no
person who
rules
buzzes
anymore?
last gets an advantage on these questions typically.
It is true.
I was not always.
So you buzzing last. Yeah, well, you knew the rules.
So heading into July 4th of 2020, the U.S. reported a then record daily number of new COVID-19 cases.
America.
I was born yet,
Yeah. Okay. To closest wins, how many cases were reported on the 4th of July?
On the 4th of July.
so it must have been not a ton.
least
The
one.
Oh,
height
no,
of
it
the
was.
COVID.
It was like March when.
1776.
I was thinking that.
Oh, I forgot to.
Okay.
Oh,
It's just too big of a
Cooper
thing.
is
I'm
first.
too big of a
Okay, Mitch.
thinker.
The closest makes it easier for being
Yeah.
last. I will say, I'm gonna set the bar right here, right now. You're saying on 4th of July?
Yes. A daily, case report. Yeah.
I'm gonna say 600,000.
Whoa.
We're saying total. Total or
on
new
one
cases?
day
No,
in the
new
United
cases
States.
reported on that
Oh,
day.
okay.
Oh,
That's
Nope,
what
he
I
said it.
over and over. The daily case
You got the
report.
clarification.
for some reason I thought you meant just like everybody who had
cumulative?
it. That's what I thought.
Everyone got COVID on July
600,000 in a
4th.
day would be crazy. Okay.
Maybe global.
I set the bar. There's the
Oh,
bar.
like the height.
That's the cold.
There's the bar.
maybe.
Okay. I don't. Hey, it could be right.
Yeah.
Could be right, says the guy who knows the answer.
Aiden, America Aiden is next.
1,000. No. 17,760.
Nice.
Thanks.
Wow.
Can't be that.
Okay.
I'm thinking.
I didn't want to say 17. I don't think it was 1,000.
Skelly.
I'm thinking maybe like 8,000, 9,000. I'll say 9,000.
Okay.
10,000? 11,000?
Okay, and then Mitch.
Just keep climbing
I
up.
was worth it.
Until
Working,
I see a reaction.
I was working in
Mitch.
healthcare around this time. So
Right.
July.
Okay,
We're talking
and-
about July
What are you-
2020. The cases started around March, right?
Yes.
By
Mid-March,
July. By July, I'll say like 30,000.
Ooh,
30,000.
Mitch is gonna get that point.
Wow.
55,000.
Oh,
Okay.
So,
Mitch was counting.
I'm tired.
Not fair.
Yeah, I was counting. At the time in 2020, I was counting.
Yeah.
Mitch had a spreadsheet keeping track of all this. It was
Dude,
great.
that's a spirit point right there. I can't give it to you, but Sam can if he wants to.
The snipe.
He got it right.
He got-
he got
he
an
gets a real
actual
point.
Yeah, well, he gets a real point. And
Yeah,
a spirit.
no,
I'll take
Sam.
spirit.
You don't have to
He
give him
gets a
points. Just give him a
spirit
spirit.
I'm tied with Sam now, so maybe a spirit point will put me
Yes.
over.
Oh
It'll
no!
put me over.
Oh, no.
Hopefully you don't know.
Is this the last
question.
one?
Yeah, this is it.
Oh, I gotta get
Oh,
it.
this for
I
all
gotta
the
get
Are
it.
you
marbles.
counting the spirit point that Steven gave you earlier?
No,
Okay.
It's not real.
Mitch.
It's not real.
Be
Mitch.
clear about that.
I know the difference between a real point and a spirit point. Cooper.
Okay.
Come
Yeah,
on.
Sure.
let's
Sure.
not-
Okay, Mitch. We all do.
All right, and what a way to end off the America celebration episode without mentioning our arch nemesis, Great Britain. So, 2 years ago, on July 4th, 2024, the UK held a general election. In that election, what party took control of the British government after a losing streak of over 14 years? Aidan.
Labour.
Yes, you got it. And was a timely question because Keir Starmer just resigned. So
Yeah, that's true.
And
days ago,
2025 for the 250th birthday,
I
Keir
know.
Starmer.
So the
resigned.
UK is headed for their
finally
7th
gave up.
prime minister in just 10 years. So they're
Wow.
having a fun time. I think.
Yeah, they're kinda
They
kinda
better
rough
stop
over there
messing
right
around,
now.
or I'm gonna have to
It's
step
called soccer.
Mitch, is Mitch eligible for prime minister in the UK?
in. Do you have to be
What are the
born
rules?
like a
You don't, have to
citizen?
be, you don't have to be born there. Boris Johnson was born in New York. So
Mitch.
I might have to step in. I
Mitch
might
will
have
be
to
8th.
step in.
Mitch might have to
You
step
could clean it up.
Mitch is like, I'm gonna fix things.
Don't make me get
All right.
involved.
Steven, do you have an outro?
Let's
Doesn't
do
count
a
for
quick
cuts, right?
point check. Let's
Yeah,
see.
point check.
Let's refresh ourselves on how many Patriot points we have.
I
I
have
called
2
freedom
Patriot
points
points, and I think I got that from the first round.
Aiden, you just got that one though. You have 3 now.
Oh, I have 3 Patriot points. You're so right, Sam. Sam didn't bing me, so I wasn't aware.
Retroactive.
Dang. Now I have 3.
I do want to say I accidentally gave out freedom points during my round.
So they don't have to
Embarrassing.
So I think Mitch beats me. I have 2 freedom points and 5 Patriot points.
Don't worry, the
I
conversion
have
rate.
4 Patriots.
Yeah, it's
Freedom
equal.
point. What? It's a
Nice.
1-to-1 ratio.
It's a 1-to-1
Freedom
ratio.
points
It's a 1-to-1
to
ratio.
points.
I also have 7.
Wow.
Wow,
Okay.
tied up.
I have 3 for
And
the
Steven?
record. Yeah.
Oh wow, so I lost. No, we're tied.
How do we
Do we want to do a tiebreaker?
tiebreak here? Who is the most American?
We're gonna have an America off right here.
An America
I don't
off.
think you
Okay,
want
we
to
can
get
name the
America
most
off with
American
Sam,
counties.
who can
Go.
name like the
Sam would win
I
any
don't want the smoke.
America.
I don't want the smoke.
Oh wait,
Draw the United States. Why not?
who is headlining the Great American State Fair?
Oh
Which of the following artists dropped out of the Great American State Fair?
Okay.
That's fine.
Whoever can name the most
I'm
Yeah.
fine with the tie.
We can have a tie.
I'm fine
Mitch
with
and
the
Sam,
tie.
congratulations. You both are sharing the most Patriot points and are sharing the Patriot prize. Abraham Lincoln's ghost is very proud of you. He respects
very
you
impressed.
deeply.
We'll share him. I'll get him on weekends.
Well,
That's a good deal. That's a
I was
good
about
deal.
to say something too.
Okay, I'll get us out of here. Thank you for tuning in to Bus One today. We'd really appreciate it if you told your friends, family members, congressmen, patriotic uncles, and pets about us.
Call your congressman.
Consider subscribing or dropping a 5-star rating in your podcast player of choice. It's great for the algorithm. Our goal is to get wealthy enough to
Gore.
lobby Congress to pass a law to outlaw all other podcasts. So please help us achieve this noble goal. We're on all social medias as at Bus1Trivia. You can head over to bus1trivia.com for a link to our Discord and for our official merch. We've also made a Patreon where you can post our episode scripts if you want to do trivia at home, and some bonus content. What else can I plug? You guys have anything
Patreon.
you want to plug? I just plugged
Patreon.
That's what I
Just
just
do it again.
Do it again.
Look out for the tennis. Look out for the tennis
For the use of
episode.
our theme song, 5978, which is a certified All-American
Bang.
Actually, you know, that's actually the third verse of the Star Spangled Banner. Is
Thanks for playing this one. Happy top 50. We'll see you next week. Happy birthday, America.
Happy birthday, America.
Make a win.